Alright, welcome back. Turn that off. I really wish... There's a bluebird. Old bluebird. It's not ours. But I kind of wish I could see whose it was. Anyway. Kind of wish I would have been recording this morning. This morning was a little bit strange. The forecast of weather today that I kept seeing was that it was not going to rain today until 10 o'clock. And even when it did, it was only going to be like a little sprinkle shower and then be done. My phone said for the entire morning leading up to that, it was going to be mostly sunny, maybe partly cloudy in some spots. As you may be able to tell by the rain on the window right here, that's not what happened. I was at the bus shop and it started sprinkling while I was doing my pre-trip, and I was like, okay, whatever. So I get done with the pre-trip, I walk over into the office for a second, and in the 5 seconds that I was in there, I turn around and come back out, and it was like the definition of a monsoon. If you open the dictionary to the word monsoon and look what it says, it was that. I was like, okay, wasn't expecting this. So, I had my coat on. I just kind of zip up and sprint across the yard back to the bus. See if I can take this left lane. And yeah, so now my boots are a different color. My jeans look like I had peed myself. My hair's knackered, but I'm wearing the GoPro now anyway, so whatever. Yeah, it was kind of strange. So I pull out of the yard, turn out on the main road. I'm going out of the highway, and it was like some of the heaviest rain I'd ever seen in my life for all of 11 seconds. And then as quickly as it started, boom, gone.
This is 196, go ahead.
I got out to the highway. It was totally dry. Nothing had happened. So less than a quarter mile from where I had driven through a monsoon, and it was perfectly dry. I was like, okay, that's a little bit baffling, but all right, maybe just a freak coincidence. So I get down to the first part of my route, and I start my route, and the ground is perfectly dry. So here I am in an area that's 100% dry, no moisture at all, and suddenly I turn up in a school bus soaking wet. So that was a little weird. But no, I went through the first half of the route was okay, and it stayed dry. The middle bit of the route, it started kind of lightly sprinkling into like a light rain. And I was like, okay, apparently this is going to be a theme for the morning. That went away until a little bit later in my route when the bottom fell out again. And I kid you not, I turned in this neighborhood and it was like the rain followed me. I went in this one neighborhood that's like just a loop and it comes back out. I go in, one half of the neighborhood, like the left side half, was flooding. The right side half was dry. And there's less than a football field between these two streets width-wise. I was like, how is this even possible? Right lane's open today, so we'll take that. I was like, I don't understand how that works, but okay, I guess the clouds can do what they want. So I carry on the route, I get to the middle school, and it rained off and on a little bit. I get to the middle school, totally dry. I had just turned off the main road where it was raining, get to the middle school, perfectly dry. I was like, all right, I wonder how many times this is gonna happen through the morning. We did the transfer, let the middle schoolers off, got the high schoolers on, and then we started doing our shuttle run to the high school. And it was like sprinkling. We got about, I don't know, a mile and a half from the school, and the bottom fell out. And when I say fell out, I mean it was so close that you see this bus in front of me, you were barely able to see the back of that bus. And that's about how far we were from each other, just so we could see each other. But I had a bus about that far in front of me. We're crawling about 30 miles an hour, and I could barely see the back of that bus because it was raining so hard. So that was interesting. And then, of course, you know, we got down that road, turned on the next road on our commute, and it was like as soon as we turned on that road, dry. It looked like this, like there were remnants of rain on the grounds, little puddles and whatnot, and your tires would kick up little mist like that car right there. But the rain, it was like this, the rain completely stopped and the sun started peeking through the clouds. I don't know. I just kind of chalk it up to Georgia weather being Georgia weather. Now if I look at my phone now, it says only a 10% chance of rain at 10 o'clock. Whereas my phone earlier was saying scattered showers at 10 o'clock. So I don't know what's up with Apple weather, if they just don't like me or something, but yeah, double check your forecast, because I swear I looked at it and it was like, oh no, you know, clear skies, partly cloudy for the entirety of the morning, maybe a shower at 10 o'clock. This is not what happened. But I did just receive word from the high school that I had a kid who 2 days in a row tore a hole through one of the seat covers and tried to unscrew the window frame, which I can see it moving in the mirror. I haven't actually walked back there and fixed it back yet. And he took a red laser and was like blinding people with it. If you're wondering how I figured that out, it's because he pointed it towards the front of the bus and it reflected in the mirror and hit me in the face. So that was fun. But he just got suspended from the bus for 10 days. Yay! It's a good day when the bad kids get kicked off, because they make everybody else's commute miserable. I tried to be like a chill driver. Like I even told him once, like, obviously you're not supposed to vape on the bus or anywhere in the school system, and I know that, and I don't vape because I had an uncle who smoked and then vaped for, you know, his entire life, and he's dead now because of it, as of about 3 weeks ago. So, you know, I told my kids one day, we were sitting at the middle school and we were just parked, we were waiting on the last few buses to get here. So I stood up, I shut the air conditioner off because it wasn't hot, stood kind of in the aisle right there where they could all see me actually face to face, and I basically said, guys, look, if you vape outside of school in your personal life, I said, I would not recommend it. I said, but if you do, I'm not judging. Your life, your decision, whatever. If that's what you want to do, it's what you want to do. I said, but we're not going to do it on the school bus. The school bus is part of the school classroom. We're not doing it. I said, if you have one, don't let me see it, don't let me smell it, don't let me even suspect that you might have it. because otherwise you and I both get to have a bad day and we got to get off this bus and fill out paperwork, which I don't want to do and they don't want to do. But that was basically how I approached it. I wasn't judgmental. I wasn't some, you know, Nazi about it. I just said, hey, if this is something you do in your personal life, don't bring it here. So I try to be a chill bus driver. I don't get onto them near as much as I probably should about some stuff. They don't have assigned seats, unless they're really bad. If they're really bad, then last year I assigned a couple of them seats specifically separated from each other, because when they got around each other it was like gasoline at matches. But yeah, I don't really assign seats. They kind of just sit wherever. I should tell them to stay in the same seat more. Some of them kind of move around, talk to their friends or whatever. But I mean, in a perfect world, I wouldn't have to get onto them about anything, and they wouldn't misbehave in any way. I would literally just drive the bus, and they would just chill. And most of my high schoolers are like that. Most of them just get on, talk to their friends, or throw their earbuds in, and that's that. Like, you don't get any trouble out of them ever. But there's always consistently like this very small handful. I mean, I can count them on one hand. One high schooler and a couple of middle schoolers, but they start doing stuff that I'm like, no, all right, I'm drawing the line here. We're not gonna do that. And then they want to get all mad when I write them up. I'm like, well, you should learn to behave. Because, first of all, using bright lasers on the bus that in itself is a suspendable offense, but vandalizing the bus or tampering or damaging it, such as trying to unbolt part of the window frame or stabbing holes through the seat cushions, that's also a suspendable offense. So yeah, that stuff happens, but you know, what can you do? Part of it, you know, I try to be a chill driver because I had a chill driver when I was in school. I say that as long as you behaved and were chill, he was chill. And I'm still friends with him to this day. He still drives. But he was the kind of person that he wouldn't take crap from anybody. He was chill until you forced him not to be. Then he wasn't chill, and you did not want to be around that guy when he got angry. I don't have that kind of physical intimidation. Maybe one day in my life I will, but I don't really have that kind of intimidation, so I have to use the tactic of, oh, you know, he's chill until he's not. I let a lot of stuff slide that maybe I shouldn't. As far as like, sometimes they change around seats and whatnot. But I have shown them before that if they misbehave, I am perfectly willing to pull the bus over, get out of my seat, and go back there. They know that. I've done it before. I've threatened to do it since then, but usually that alone kind of straightens them up, because they're like, nah, he'll actually do it. I don't really write people up as such, because to be honest, that's kind of a pain. You got to fill out this paperwork of stuff. Then I have to go get the camera hard drive out of there and rewatch the whole flipping route, unless I know specifically where it was. Pull those clips, got to email that to the administrators. I got to submit the paperwork to them, then they got to review it, and then do something from there. So to be honest with you, it's kind of a pain in my butt, and I know they got way more stuff on their plate they're trying to deal with. So my tactic is to deal with it in person on the bus. If I can have a conversation with a student, you know, and get on to them one-on-one here, or even address the group without calling anybody out and it's effective, I'd much rather do that. But, you know, sometimes it doesn't work. Most of the time it does, but sometimes it doesn't. I have had a couple of instances where I actually got off the bus at somebody's house. 39 on the click. It was in a neighborhood, so I wasn't hogging up the road. I did the standard hit the reds and let them off, and then basically pulled the bus off with the hazards on and said, go inside, get your parent or whoever's home, bring them out here. I'm not leaving until you do. And that was the moment that the rest of the kids on the bus went, oh crap, this guy's not playing. What is that? So this was last school year, by the way, but that happened, and I basically had a lovely conversation with their mother, those two girls, and yeah, that was on a Friday. The very next Monday, she actually walked them out to the bus, and of course they were not in a happy mood because they got in trouble, and they were more or less okay for the rest of the school year. And she still actually does that. She won't always walk them to the driveway. They'll stand in the driveway, she'll stand on the porch and watch, and we'll just kind of wave as I pick them up. But yeah, that's been my life recently. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have a great day.